Brothers and sisters, Black Power, as always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors, giving honor to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, my father, my in-laws, all my subscribers, fellow comrades, specifically those who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. As you can see, as you know, today is 9/11. And our people in white America has us thinking that this is supposed to be the greatest atrocity that ever existed in the history of man. And don't get me wrong, I'm always sensitive to the loss of life. And those few thousand people that perished in this conspiratory atrocity, my hat goes out to the families of those. And I'm explaining how. They always talk about this great atrocity, 9/11, 9/11 this, 9/11 that. But what about the real greatest atrocity that ever existed? And once again, I'm always sensitive to the loss of life in any situation. However, to say that this is the greatest atrocity that ever existed in mankind is totally, totally absurd. And speaking of this atrocity of 9/11, we all know that, this was an inside job. We all know this. And then those who have exposed the conspirators in this atrocity have over the years been ridiculed and blackballed, among other things, for speaking the truth about the people that were solely responsible for setting this whole thing up. And I'm not going to go into all that today. I'm really not going to go into all that today. This fuckery that surrounded this, on the account of a $3 trillion deficit that was spent by corporate greed and buying weapons and gold and oil and all this shit from Africa, and the trading and killing of bodies in Africa to provide gold and diamonds to be purchased by these greedy, blood-sucking motherfucking crackers here, where they don't even give a fuck about their own. Well, they'll kill 3,000 just for the cause. And some of the things that bother me is how people that look like us are more compassionate to this situation opposed to the real atrocity that ever existed in the history of mankind. And this Negro, white man, Barack Obama, who said, fuck slavery, fuck the descendants and the ancestors of our people. Let's focus on all the things that European people and crackers go through. Because whether you want to accept it or not, Barack Obama is a white man in brown skin. His umbilical cord is cut from a white woman. That makes him white. And he shows it. He showed it in every aspect of his being. Every decision that he made did not involve the advancement of the black nation whatsoever. So take it like you want to take it. And these co-conspirators that participated in this atrocity, in which we're supposed to be quiet at 9:47 and all this bullshit while bells ring for 3,000 people. But what about the 60 to 100 million? 60 to 100 million that perished in the transatlantic slave trade, where no days, no holidays, nothing is given in remembrance of them. Not even a thought, not even from our own people. We have the descendants of these people saying that they say fuck the ancestors, fuck their own ancestors, and focus on 9/11. This is how sick the black man and woman has become. That no one talks about the 60 to 100 million of our ancestors that perished in the Middle Passage. Where do they get their honor? Where do they get their respect at? Why isn't it reparations for those who have survived and made it over here and took the brutal beatings, lashings, lynchings, hanging, torture, amputations, rape, lobotomizing, that made it possible for the brothers and sisters, the black man and woman that stands here today. If it wasn't for those who survived and made it here, we would not be here. And you mean to tell me there's no holiday in remembrance of them? There's no day in remembrance of them? And that you got niggas that, like Steve Harvey just said, fuck, he didn't give a damn about slavery. And his own mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, great-great-great-grandmother, and father was slaves. And made it possible. Took rapings, beatings, lynchings, shining shoes, picking cotton, picking tobacco, sugar cane, for his fucking existence. And he turned on his own blood. But yet, I bet you that motherfucker is commemorating today. He's commemorating 9/11. And I'm not saying do not commemorate it, but let first things be first. Commemorate the ancestors first. Everything else comes behind. Commemorate your ancestors for what the beatings and tortures that they took. You know, laying on these boats, as you can see, stacked, packed like sardines in a can, laying in their own feces, urine, vomit. Brothers and sisters and babies that were laying beside them perished, literally died on this voyage. And the voyage was to become a slave. It wasn't like this voyage had a happy ending to it. This harsh 4-month voyage was the beginning of the hell that our ancestors had to live and die through. And you mean to tell me there's no commemoration? That you rather believe and give credit to fucking Santa Claus, the goddamn Easter Bunny, SpongeBob, and the white man over your own people? I don't see no athlete, no entertainer, no rap stars, no actors or anything talking about the transatlantic slave trade. None of them. And this is why I don't have an ounce of respect for most of the motherfuckers that's in that world. Because they will denounce their own for a little bit of wealth. And they came over here and had to endure this type of shit. These are your direct relatives. These are your relatives. These are not foreigners. These are not Mike B's. These are your direct blood relatives. How do you think you were created? How do you think you were created and born here? That your great-great-grandparents gave birth to your great-grandparents, who gave birth to your parents, who gave birth to your ass. And your great-great-grandparents were slaves in this country. So don't come with the bullshit about equality. There's no racism in this country. Everything is okay. Everyone can make it, and all this bullshit. But our ancestors, as you can see right there, they picked that cotton. That the white man today is still spending the money from the blood, sweat, tears, lynchings, rapes, and murders and hangings from our ancestors. Wells Fargo, E.F. Hutton, Ameritrade. Slaves were the first item on Wall Street. They had stores in Atlanta where they sold slaves. And the money that these crackers are spending today, that live rich and they're living lavish lifestyles off the blood of our ancestors. That is our money. That money and that wealth in this country belong to the descendants of slaves. And we are too afraid, too cowardly. We would rather suffer in silence than to speak up for your ancestors and get the wealth that they created for their masters, which is our goddamn wealth. This is the reason why I'm hard on motherfuckers. Because one day we will be ancestors. And you will want to be remembered. You would never want to be forgotten forever. And that be in the history books. And that be a symbol of hope for freedom, liberation, struggle, survival, triumph. Being the original man and woman of the fucking planet Earth. We seem to forget about this shit. And these are the things that make my energy and keeps the fire excessively high in my spirit to fight for my relatives, to fight for my ancestors. Because my great-great-grandmother is also my mother too. You niggas seem to forget every motherfucking thing that takes place when it has something to do with us, unless it's drama or death. Because most of you right now, besides talking about 9/11, shedding tears with the devil, whose ancestors are responsible for enslaving and murdering your ancestors, you're standing right beside these motherfuckers crying for their loved ones. But what about your loved ones? Stop being the second-hand motherfucking human being and understand who you really are. Fall in love with the highest frequency of yourself. And stand tall and walk tall. If you're going to be a soldier, you're going to be the warrior, you're going to be a king or queen, act like it, goddammit. Stand up for yours. Represent your ancestors. You brothers, stop being fucking pussies. And you sisters, stop trying to be a white woman. And recognize who you are. Everybody's trying to be like us. We're always imitated but cannot be duplicated. Stand straight up. Represent who you are. You know, 9/11 is not the greatest atrocity. It's a small, ant-sized atrocity compared to the greatest Holocaust that ever existed in the history of mankind, which is the transatlantic slave trade. Give your ancestors their props. Let them know that you acknowledge them, that you appreciate them, that you love them, and you honor them for the sacrificing of their lives that they made for our existence. No one else done that. No one else has done that, and no one else will do it. So, in order to show your gratitude, you got to know your gratitude. You have to become your gratitude. Follow the directions and orders of the divine. So you will find your place and you will find your mission and you will begin to act accordingly. Now, for those who want to know about this so-called hurricane that's on the southeastern coast of the Atlantic, you know that all this shit is man-made. Look up H.A.A.R.P. H.A.A.R.P. High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, where they make it rain, they make Katrinas, they've made the tsunamis, and it's right on the outskirts of Juneau, Alaska. And a lot of times when the economic balance is off balance, they will create some type of weather-based atrocity to balance the economy out. So people can begin to buy more bread, buy more water, buy more non-perishable items that are sitting on shelves all across the United States in these so-called grocery stores. And fruits and vegetables that are man-made, that are cloned, that has to be sold to the masses of the people. And then we wonder why we are so sick so much. with these new diseases, along with these new medications that are out, that the average person in the black community cannot afford. And so they have to sit around and die and suffer in complete agony because they cannot afford the medication, and their Medicaid doesn't cover certain medications. And these motherfucking devils know that. That's why this is a diabolical motherfucking cracker. Until we understand what's going on, we won't understand, period. Get busy living or get busy fucking dying. The choice is yours. But if you're getting busy dying, stay the motherfuck out the way. And let those who are fighting for liberation and salvation in every aspect, whether it's health, wealth, or whatever the case may be. H.A.A.R.P in Juneau, Alaska. And they made Katrina. And the purpose of making Katrina so they could wash the people, the black community of the lower Ninth Ward, New Orleans, wash them straight into the Atlantic because there were tons of crude oil under the lower Ninth Ward, New Orleans. That was the purpose of Katrina. And to understand it more, get the movie Pelican Brief with Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts, hook nose ass, and you will see and understand what Katrina was about. About the Supreme Court justices that mysteriously passed in New Orleans. Same as in the movie. Check the movie out. And one of the reasons they wouldn't mind washing the people in the hoods of Miami, Florida. And they already had stated that they wanted to shut down and gentrify certain portions of Miami that are historical for our people. And so I believe I'm kind of geared to think that this hurricane was designed to wash those brothers and sisters out in Miami. Also, Charleston, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, where the black neighborhoods are so-called interfering with the gentrification of the crackers. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Use your heads. It's only over when it's over. Keep fighting. Never give up. Never give up. This is what we stand for. Yeah, brothers and sisters, I just wanted you all to understand where we stand at as a people. That we have to begin the process of liberation. It starts within. It starts with self first. And deep down inside, we all know the things that we must change to reach our maximum frequency. We all know that. We all know we must change our diets, change the way we think, trace our ancestries back. Fuck that ancestry.com. That's how you can be set up for termination and annihilation, by giving up your DNA. And you can also be framed with any type of charges, murders, rapes, if you are someone that is a threat to white genetic survival. Understand who you are. Stop jumping up and down when the cracker jumps up and down. Stop crying when they cry. Leave them the fuck alone. Separation is the only motherfucking solution. You see that? You see, they don't give a fuck about your ancestors. They don't give a fuck about you. They are trying to get rid of us at all costs. And we are active participants in our own goddamn destruction. And we must wake up. We must stop this bullshit. Stop looking to be entertained. Stop getting caught up in sports and music and entertainment. And start getting busy. A lot of black brothers, you brothers, a lot of you can't read or write. And that's no motherfucking excuse today. Reach out and ask for help. So to learn to read, so you can read the history of your people. A lot of you are slow. A lot of you are illiterate. But to hide your illiteracy, you envy those who have high IQs. You envy those and you want to destroy those. You want to hurt those because you are jealous of those who are connected and have knowledge of self. You want to hurt those. But you really want to be like those. But to be like those, you have to do what those do. Put your pride to the side. Find out where you belong. Get in where you fit in. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Stop being engulfed by these TV shows and movies, having you think that you can do what they do. It's all an illusional setup to draw you in to the penitentiary or the graveyard. And in that situation, the choice is yours. And sisters, stop trying to be men, controlling brothers, not being faithful. And when you're not faithful to your mate, you're not faithful to yourself, because you have a lot of nasty, lustful behaviors that you cannot control right now, that you need help on. A lot of you are compulsive masturbators. You sitting there, brothers as well, sitting there raping yourselves in private, inflicting, self-inflicting pleasure, which is nasty. But the cracker tells you that it's okay because he's a fucking savage. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into that. Get help, get assistance, get some insight for these secret, dirty fucking habits that you have. Gambling, sex, food addictions. Every time you're pissed off, you need to go to KFC. Get help with that. That's a mental illness. Because it's a lack of emotional control. Every time you get upset or you with yourself, you have to jam something up in your vagina, because you are afraid to sit with yourself, because You are afraid to find out who you really are. And all of this illusional bullshit that you're going through, and it's just an illusion. Because when you find out who you are, you'll see that you wasted so many years of your life running from yourself, and you'll find out that you are your best friend and your worst enemy, and that you are a beautiful black goddess and black god. And so that's why I say stand up. I've been there and done that. I'm not just telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what my experiences, so it can help you. Because a lot of you that are watching this video are suffering from something. And don't wait too late to stand up and be counted. Fight for black liberation. Fight for your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great and beyond. Some of us only have one parent. Some of us don't have any. They've already made their transition. Some of us have siblings that have already made their transitions. And they're looking for us. And they're providing us energy so we can be on the highest frequency of ourselves. And you'll be amazed at what the Creator and the ancestors can have you do productively. I know a lot of you are not going to even watch this. You're not going to listen to it because it's too real. It's too much of the truth. So I'm going to close for right now and hope those of you who are listening, that will listen, that will internalize, leave a comment. And in closing, I have been seriously considering getting back on the lecture circuit and going city to city doing lectures. If you think that I should be doing that and you want me in your city and you want me to do a lecture in your city, leave a comment in the comment box and then we'll talk. H.A.A.R.P, Black Power.